Well, I'm on the farm today and got the #1 Massey Model 50 over here with the bush hog. Kind of taking a break from cutting autumn olives. Seems like all we do here of late is cut autumn olives. And but I got it on this field right here. Right over there's my big Massey 1105, and this is my #2 Massey Model 50 with the loader. And anyway, so out along that bank right there below that road, there's some stuff that don't need the forestry mulcher. So this is after day 2 and before day 3. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and knock down some of the stickweed and stuff to make it a little easier for him to see when he comes back exactly, just make it easier for him to see where, where to cut. And either way, I need to mow it down anyway. So I got the Model 50 over here, and thought I'd take you on for a little ride. I need to pull the rake and that wagon gear out, and the wagon over there. I need to pull all that stuff down against my barn, and we'll try to plant something in here. I haven't decided what I'm gonna plant, but whatever I do, it might be in that field too. I want to get some revenue off this field. I realize it's going to be difficult with sticks like that, and we'll do our best to pick all that crap up. But put the PTO in on the Model 50. There we go. And anyway, certainly want to get something in here growing somehow, some way that we can maybe just run it through the round baler. I don't know. We'll see. If I can get some of these sticks off, if we've got a 5-inch stubble height, we leave pretty much, most of this stuff below the cutter, and but probably the round baler is probably what I'll use on this, and then over time this stuff will just kind of settle down into the ground. But I want to get up in that corner, and then I want to get around in there, and I'll kind of show you what I'm up to. Right now I'm in 1st gear high range. I'm going to go to 3rd gear low range. That's one of my favorite gears. And I run 540 PTO on this Massey. That's what I need the forestry mulcher for, but this is easy bush hogging right in here. So let me work on that, and I'll come back. I'm gonna kind of get some of this stuff right in here. I've kicked it up to 1st gear high range. It's wonderful being able to see these fields clear to the autumn olives. That's what I got to get over next to my barn. I'll come back. I think I mentioned I've finished trimming out that corner, and then I'm just going after these stick weeds and stuff down in here. There's a wind. There's always a wind on this field. And got some old metal here I want to throw up in the back of this wagon. Sorry about the camera angles. We don't have stagehands on this channel yet. When I was a boy, before TV remotes came about, my dad had one, and that was me and my brother go change your channel. So until we get a lot of YouTube revenue coming in, you just have to settle for stuff like that. So the bush hog is doing great. The slip clutch I put on is running good from another video back, and I'm gonna keep trimming this stuff out and make my way over into that crap over there. So I'll be back. Alright, so I got that corner trimmed out, and I got all this stuff down in between the wagon and the rake and all that. And so I'm sitting right out here where the Forestry Mulcher was, and I'm just wondering, as cars go by like that one right there, and people are familiar in the neighborhood with the white barn and the green roof, I'm just wondering, those that didn't see the Forestry Mulcher in here are wondering and are assuming that this little Model 50 Massey with the 3-cylinder Perkins diesel took on these 10-foot tall, sometimes 6 inches in diameter autumn olives, and just leveled this field with a 5-foot bush hog. I'm sure some people, I would be shocked if some people didn't come to that conclusion, but no, we try to stick to stuff that's somewhat manageable. Let me keep going. Alright, so right here's the next patch I gotta get. I'm gonna drop back into 3rd gear, low range. A little tip on shifting the Massey Fergusons with the high-low range. If you put it in neutral, it's a lot easier to shift. It's a lot easier to shift. I say it and I can't do it. It's a lot easier to shift the low range with it in neutral. And you got to be careful. Sometimes these things will jump out of. People lift up on them, and then they'll get jammed between 2 gears. Knock on wood, I've never had that trouble, but I've always been careful about it. Let me wade into this stuff and just go down the center of it. The groundhog hole. Right over there is a brush pile that's got to be dealt with. I think he's going to run the Forestry Mulcher on it. So let me concentrate on what I'm doing here, and I'll come back. Alright, so I got this mowed out right in here, and it really wasn't bad at all. And everything in here is just like old stick weeds and stuff. But I got it cleaned up, and like I said, that'll help the Forestry Mulcher guy kind of see where he needs to put his cutter down. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way down this fence line down to that gate, and then I may go over to the creek, back there to the creek, and do something. So I'll come back. Sometimes we have to watch for big rocks and trees that we just can't run over, autumn olives. But occasionally we have to watch out for the bale of hay that somehow got left out here in the field, and especially mindful of this string. That'll wrap around something. And then I got another one over here. I'm just about done coming down through here, but I mean, I see no reason that this hayfield can't extend up in there. I don't want to get up on the road because it kind of gets steep. But in any event, let me retrieve the twine on these bales. If I can. That's some nasty stuff. Whew. But I will hit it with the bush hog, and I'll give you a report on how it goes. I ran over a salt block one time. Some guy that was hunting back up there on the hill decided it would be prudent to put down a salt block to lure the deer in. And but the bad part is, when the salt block melts away, there's still a lot of salt and mineral in the ground, and I've seen them dig like a kiddie pool, if you will, around that salt block. So I got the bright idea I'd back over it with that bush hog, and you'd have thought I was backing over a piece of granite, but I actually busted it up. I probably should have hauled it out of there. And then another time, somebody was round baling up here, and they had about a 1/3 size round bale that they spit out. I guess it was at the end, and I thought, no problem, I'll just back over that thing too. And that thing was as hard as a brick too. I never got it bush hog, but let me get back at it. I'll come back. Hang on, here's a third one. Woo. Now I'm gonna get my foot hung in it, and I'll go to the hospital. All right, I got to use 2 hands for this. Well, let's see what happens pretty uneventful. Let me go ahead and get this other one while we're in action mode. Looks like manure from a dairy. Nothing to it. All right, so I've done about all I can do along that fence row and back in that corner. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna head for the creek. And while I'm tooling around here, I'll kind of show you. So this little section right in here is what's left of the big autumn olives, and it takes longer than you think for that brush cutter, that Forestry Mulcher, to go through all this stuff, because, you know, as you see the videos, and as you have seen the videos when this one comes out, you know, he has to push them over, kind of get in around the sides of them, and then he backs over. He tries to back over everything that he's cut to give you a nice, just to grind it up into mulch. But this is the corner of the field back there, so it kind of comes down and then it turns and goes out that way. So I'm gonna come down in here and kind of clean up a little bit and work my way out that fence row. I'll come back. So right in here is a power line that goes to that old pump house back there, and I've gone to the inside. What I'll do later on is I'll just back up, not today, but I'll back up so you can kind of see over into the creek. But the power company came in and cut this out a number of years ago, probably about 3 years ago, and I've tried to keep it bush hog down. But I'd like as much of it as I can to be hayfield, so definitely want to bring this under control too. I mean, this is kind of where, you know, again, a bat wing would be nice, because really it's not unreasonable to have a 15-foot border around these fields, where when the limbs drop, they're dropping into an area like right over in there where we wouldn't want to. There's a limit to how many sticks we can pick up on this farm, is what I'm saying. So to have a kind of a buffer that stuff could fall into, and that would be nice. And then it would be one pass, maybe two, depending on you know, how bad it is in some of these areas. But I'll get this done and I'll be done with this chore for the day. I'll come back. So it's a little bit, there's the glare, the sun's up there somewhere, but there's a fair amount of glare. But this is the far corner of this field. The creek's over there. The main part of the farm's out that way. But I mean, it's impressive what he has done in 2 days. And of course, you still got that section to cut, which will open up even more ground. And it's not insignificant either. It'll take him a while to burn through those autumn olives, but you know, I've kind of been trimming around here, and I'm hoping he has time to right down on this end of the field to get over into those autumn olives, so we can get to the creek. If he doesn't have time for it, then I can come in there and I can take care of that. But what a great hayfield this is going to be. You know, when I look at it, it just, you don't realize how big this field is when you're confined by the autumn olives, you know. And so it's just amazing to me how this field has been transformed in a matter of 2 days. And so this is kind of where I'm going to leave it. I'm not sure I'll be here on day 3. I'll certainly be here after it. I've got some day job commitments, and I just can't work remotely on those days. But I'd say on the Forestry Mulcher versus the autumn olives, the Forestry Mulcher is winning, going away right now. So got a little more to go, and then I'll come back with another video on that. If I'm able to be here when he comes. There's some rain. There's some rain that's being called for, and he's got to make some repairs on his truck before he can haul his equipment out of here. So so his next stop is right back here to finish up, and then retrieve his, you know, retrieve his equipment in his trailer. But this has been money well spent. I guess if I was retired, I could take it one autumn olive at a time, like I did up there in the middle of the field. Actually, I would do more than one, but that's for another video. But it was a tractor and a chain, and but this is much better. This is worth every penny that I'm spending on it, and we will certainly not let this get out of hand again as long as I'm able. So the old hardy bush hog, the Massey Ferguson Model 50, and we'll talk to you later.